Hey y'all, good evening. I hope all is well with you and yours. Welcome to Burgundy Blue Commentary. Okay, you guys, I want to talk about Naziah Harris today, and why I haven't been talking about Naziah Harris. Now, if you didn't know, Naziah was the 13-year-old that is now missing. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry, my neighbor just turned up everything. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. It's actually hot. It's actually cold here. But in the it's hot and dry, so I had my window open and then I just hear boom, like the music. Okay, so Naziah Harris, she was the 13-year-old a young lady, beautiful young lady from Detroit who basically, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, she got pregnant by her uncle. Her uncle, not by just baby daddy ish, not by marriage or anything like that, but the father of her aunt's kids, 5 children, right? So I haven't been talking about it for one reason. I know a lot of people have asked me to follow up on what's going on, but I'm going to talk about it now, but they have court um March the 7th in Detroit. Now, the reason I want to talk about it now is because I want to explain why I haven't talked about it, which I know is weird, but a lot of things are going out there about Naziah. Even to the point now, people are making videos and saying, yes, it's confirmed her aunt did this, and we still have trial on March the 7th. Now, I'm not there. I'm just reporting it. I don't know the family. I don't know anything of this nature or the friends, but it's just getting out of hand. So I took a step back because I felt like Child Protective Services failed Naziah. Naziah parents failed Naziah. Naziah grandmother failed Naziah. Naziah aunties failed Naziah. Detroit school system failed Naziah, and I feel like now us on social media, I feel like we're failing Naziah as well. And let me explain why. We are sitting here doing, and I think I watch it all. Like, I think it's nothing wrong. People are doing spiritual readings. People are running around looking for her, digging in the snow, going into buildings. Uh Doing interviews. I understand. I do. I think that all eyes should be on this case, but now I think that we're getting a little more salacious, if you will, with it, and we might be the next to fail Naziah because this is a jury trial, right? The judge decided that he would be tried amongst his peers. Social media is a big thing. Hey, you guys, I'm in this little town here. You guys might have heard of it who are not watching my channel for my other content, but it's Dolton, Illinois. And we have this notorious mayor right now. And I can see things going on for myself, but it's so many people out that are not here that see things, and media has become a monster of its own. And I don't want that to happen in the Naziah Harris case because she has not been found and justice has not been served. I hope you guys can understand what I'm saying. And it is a jury trial. And the jury has not been picked. And Lord forbid, everyone's like, oh, we're going to Detroit for the trial. This could be an OJ situation. A lot of people might be too young to remember, but OJ was supposed to be tried in, was it OJ or was it Rodney King? I'm sorry. Uh let me see. Let me make sure I'm not telling you the wrong thing. Yeah. Okay, it was a venue change. That's what I mean to say. So when they request a change of venue, like everyone's on social media, like we're gonna go to Detroit for the trial. They might bring that trial way out, but again, I've watched the trial. I've watched the preliminary of what's been going on with the questioning for the Naziah Harris trial, and it even seems like to me, even the Detroit Police Department is failing this young lady. And I don't want us to be the last people that fail her. Now, let's watch this interview here that Naziah cousins, because even the cousins are fighting. Have y'all heard that? Roxy Rocks, who was initially the one cousin that was looking for Naziah, that was basically like the mouth for the family, we thought. Now she's fighting with Naziah's brother. She's severed ties with Mark from 7 Mile Radio. They have severed ties. Now the two cousins who are on another side of the family, they're buddying up and saying, no, I was the first to say that Jarvis was messing with Naziah, and it's just a mess. Let's watch this clip. And this is from Metro Detroit News. Let's go there.
Inflation and economic uncertainty.
Commercial. But yeah, it's just becoming a mess because now we're running up in the cousin's house. We're going to talk about that. Everyone's becoming detectives. And believe me, I understand because the case grew legs, but it was only one podcaster talking about it at that time. Mark, I think it's Mark D from Detroit. He was the only one covering it for about a year. Now all social media is against him now. And it's just, let's just go to this. It's crazy.
Right now, Jarvis Butts is awaiting trial for the murder and sexual abuse of Naziah Harris.
After listening to days of testimony last month, a judge called Butts a monster and said that opportunities to protect the 13-year-old girl were missed. Tonight, the 7 investigators are revealing years of warnings that preceded Butts' alleged crimes.
Warnings that family members say were made to Children's Protective Services that could have saved Naziah's life. Here's what 7 investigator Ross Jones has uncovered.
You look at that face and you do not see the horrors that she had gone through in her short life. The exploitation, the molestations, the sexual abuse, and the pregnancy that she was concealing.
Years before Jarvis Butts would be charged by Wayne County's prosecutor, accused of killing and sexually abusing 13-year-old Naziah Harris, Harris's own relatives say they saw the warning signs and told anyone who would listen.
So that at that point, I was like, this is too much. I'm calling CPS.
I tried not just once, but multiple times for them to take me serious in what I was saying.
Kiwana Morton and her cousin Jernell are both relatives of Naziah Harris. In February of 2022, Jernell says she learned of allegations of improper touching involving Butts and other small children. She says she was told about the claims while talking to her niece, Jarvis Butts' girlfriend, and that the alleged victims were Naziah Harris and 2 other children.
I was just like, oh my God, I was not crazy. This needs to be looked into.
She says she took the claim seriously in part because Butts was on the sex offender registry, having spent more than 8 years in prison for third-degree criminal sexual conduct. She didn't alert authorities at first because she believed her niece would notify police. But weeks later, Jernell did notify Child Protective Services. Her complaint came in on April 13, 2022. There was an incident at a birthday party, the complaint reads. One of the children that attended the party accused Jarvis of sexual abuse. Naziah, and name withheld, reported that Jarvis touched both of them inappropriately as well. Jarvis touched, name withheld, in her private area, and it hurt. Jernell made the complaint over the phone.
They basically told me if they needed me for anything else, they would reach out.
The next day, Jernell would receive a text from her niece, Butts' girlfriend, confirming that.
Hey, Miss Asia. Yeah, she did try. She tried too. But I get what you're saying. She has text messages she's about to show too. Look at this, y'all.
CPS had contacted her. CPS called me, the text reads, "They called about the well-being of my kids. Then they called back to get Jarvis info."
Why they blew out that last part?
A CPS spokeswoman would not tell 7 News Detroit if investigators ever questioned Neziah Harris after receiving the complaint. But we do know it wasn't the only complaint filed with CPS naming Jarvis Butts.
And it wasn't easy for me to call Protective Services just because of the horror stories that you hear.
Kawana Morton said she heard about the same allegations against Butts from a conversation with his girlfriend. 2 months after her cousins called the CPS, she would file her own complaint.
I told them that there's a problem and they need to be aware of it. I am 90% sure that there's sexual abuse going on within the home.
Did you specifically mention Jarvis by name?
Yes, absolutely.
Internal CPS records we obtained show that investigators looked into that complaint, conducting a face-to-face interview with Butts, who strongly denied the allegation. A forensic interview was conducted with the alleged victim, and no disclosures were made. CPS said the home was clean and free of observed safety concerns. The allegation was denied.
They had a
assigned
chained-up
a
refrigerator in
low-risk
there.
level. These are 2 complaints of at least 5 filed with CPS since 2015, naming Jarvis Butts. They allege concerns about possible molestation, physical abuse, or living conditions. Some of the complaints are generic, and none would ultimately substantiate that Butts was improperly touching children. Just over a year after the last complaint on record, Butts would be charged with sexually assaulting and murdering Neziah Harris.
I'm brokenhearted because this could have been prevented. All of it could have been prevented.
Attorneys for Jarvis Butts declined comment for this story, citing his pending criminal case. As for CPS, a spokeswoman for the Department of Health and Human Services said that their hearts go out to the family and friends of Neziah Harris. It says that state and federal laws prohibit them from commenting on what we just reported, but that they are committed to ensuring the health and safety of all children. I'm Ross Jones, 7.
Okay. So the two cousins, they tried to call, they tried to reach out. Okay, I'm doing this video based on how we on social media are failing Neziah. These are my thoughts. What about them other kids? I'm sorry. This sounds weird because it's nothing we could do, right? But it says right here, it's three kids he abused, allegedly. And 2 of them were in the same room. Now, we heard about the baby daddy, the twin, Shannon twin baby daddy. We heard about him and his daughter. He was able to get his daughter out of there, but she was traumatized, and she testified that, I'm talking about the twins. So you got Shannon over here in the purple, and you got the, what's her name? I forgot her, Marquita in the blue, and the grandma in the middle. So Marquita baby daddy, he said, his daughter testified that Jarvis tried to make her do these things, but she didn't do them. But she witnessed Neziah being, he had sex with Neziah in front of her, according to her testimony. You guys, that is horrible, right? So what about the therapy for these children? What about what they witnessed? What about Annette still having all these children in the house? Then I started feeling bad because I started thinking about, man, Marquita got kids. Shannon got more kids. What if the kids are being teased at school? Like, oh yeah, Jarvis was in your house. Ha, ha, ha. I just started feeling icky about it. Then Mark from 7 Mile Radio, I didn't even know he was live right now. He's live right now. But I started to look at how he was being treated. Now, let me tell you, as an outsider watching it, I saw Mark was covering the Neziah Harris story for a whole year. Okay. And then as other content creators started to pick up on it, people started calling him a clout chaser. And I started watching Mark start to give us from 7 Mile Radio different content where he ended up battling, because it happens, you know what I mean? He ended up battling other content creators who were like trolling him a little bit because it was just too much. And we went through Mark, he went to the house. Let me see. We got that still. Okay, so he went to the house and then the video disappeared. And then he told us on social media, well, if the video disappeared, y'all should take it. Hold on. I just want to play this part. And I mean no disrespect, but he was like, you know, if I took the video down, that should heed the rest of us to take the video down. And I get it. So my thing was, if he took, why, you know? And so Mark made the, not why we shouldn't, but Mark made the comment, as far as he's concerned, the case is over with. And that sent social media in a tizzy, because now we sitting here like, what? He was like, so he could have meant it just like, as far as he's concerned, he's not going to cover it anymore. As far as he's concerned, whatever. But we watching, he became like the Gayle King of covering the Naziah Harris case. And we watched what went down when he went into the room with the twins and the whispering with Roxy. Then Mark and Roxy, they separated. It's really interesting. So I'm just going to play this snippet.
Hey, hi, what's going on?
Oh,
Hi.
no. Oh. He walked right into the room. So Marquita boyfriend at the time, he called 7 Mile Radio. He let them into the room where Marquita, the twins were, right? So they were in the room sitting there, and they didn't even know Mark was coming. So Mark kind of popped up on them, and we discussed it on this channel, and he had Roxy with them, and then Roxy pulled, we watched the conditions of the house, and then Roxy pulled Shannon into the room, and they started talking about pregnancy tests and all of that stuff, right? So we all are speculating because we don't know exactly everything that was said, but Shannon ended up being cornered, and the landlord ended up being called and all that stuff. Are we protecting any of the other children that's there? That's why I decided to just be like, let me back off until the trial. I'm like, Miss Asia, let me just hear what's going to happen at the trial, go from there, because I think now we're getting so involved in it. We're going to harm the case. That's me saying that. Now, you guys who are seasoned YouTubers, maybe you know a little better, but me, I just feel like I'm going to harm the case if I keep on talking about stuff that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we get Jarvis locked up where he can't do this again. We find out where that baby is, what happened. I heard someone saying that Detroit got alligators now. And do I believe they know what happened to that baby? Yes, I do. I believe they know. But I know it went on to where people were saying, like, this is one thing. Somebody made a video and said that Roxy helped get rid of Naziah. And Roxy at one point was a hero. Now, do I believe this stuff? No. I just think hold on, guys. Sorry. Do I believe this stuff? No. I just think we're getting a little too much. Like, now they're saying these things about other people. We're getting psychic readings, stuff like that. Nothing against it. Love a good psychic. We're throwing hamburgers at the grandma when she walks in the store. They were throwing hamburgers at the grandma. You know, stuff I feel like she probably deserves. You saw they were removed. Hey, Diane, they were removed from the home. I think Shannon kids were. But what about all the other kids? Because, you know, some of the twins kids, the other kids that Annette had. Now, I think Shannon kids were. I think DCFS got Shannon kids. Let's see. Let's see if I can find anything. And if so, I've seen a lot on social media, but I'm wondering why the real media hasn't covered that. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't seen anything. And then, like I said, the lunch people, the people when she was sick at the lunch table at school, they did nothing. When she fell in the gym, they did nothing. Hey, Gemini, nothing's been done. And so I still will cover Naziah Harris, but I'm gonna have to back up from, because I started going down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, oh my God, am I exposing more of the kids that was around Naziah? Like us playing the videos when she danced with other little kids and what kids went and cleaned up with Jarvis. I said, let me just back up. Let me back up. And then the family just look like they're not pushing enough. To me, it just looks like they're going to social media. But then again, I try to think about it and say, you know what? The police wasn't listening to the two cousins, so maybe they think that's all they got. And then Roxy has recanted so many things, sort of like, she just like, I don't want to be bothered. But it could be the social media. It could be the social media. But I just still think nobody really care about that baby. Nobody really care about that baby. And a lot of people know a lot more than we'll ever realize. Hey, Gemini. Hello, Miss Asia, Diane, and Scott. Okay, I just wanted to drop in quick with that video. I'll be back with another live because unfortunately I got to talk about Thornton Township. And I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself and each other, and we will be covering the Naziah Harris court case. Justice for Naziah Harris. Bye.